The day was Christmas and the year was 2009, when one of the most prominent artists today, a young Tyler Okonma, would release his debut project, a mixtape simply entitled Bastard. This project, as popular as it is, has been collecting dust for over a decade now, and the artist behind it has gone through a photosynthesis, blossoming into a flower since then. However, today I want to go back to what I consider a classic, a project that would jumpstart the career of a young innovative, and a project that, as dark as it is, would remain timeless. The project that ironically got me into the artist that today I'll be talking about. Hello, I'm Technical Difficulties, your host, and today I'll be breaking down Tyler the Creator's Bastard. This will begin my 7-part short documentary series, of which I will make a video on every Tyler album to date. If you're interested in watching it, as well as my other content where I cover different people and artists, leave a like and subscribe so I can keep making these documentaries for you for free. With that being said, let's dive into the mind of a bastard.
I was taught to act my shoe size, never my age. I always judge a book by the cover, never the page. I never judge a murder by weapons, only the rage that he felt when he dealt with the physical.
Self-produced by Okonma, this album is a look into the dark and broken mind of an adolescent. On December 25th, 2009, Okonma self-released his first solo mixtape, Bastard. The songs were written and recorded by Tyler from 2007 through 2009. Tyler writing a lot of these lyrics when he was only 17 years old, with Tyler also producing most of the album using FL Studio. The kids on the cover art are photoshopped to look distorted and eerie, missing facial features or having upside down smiles. In fact, Bastard originally had 2 covers, a red one and a blue one. Tyler states that the red cover symbolizes evil as the blue cover resembles happiness. In an interview he stated, the cover represents the good and evil. Evil is more so demonic, blue is more so happy. On the blue cover it reads a secret message. On the red, some kids have the number 6 on them. I mean, I guess he just said that. The secret message that he's referring to reads, Odd Future Wolfgang, kill them all before the love fuck lame, 1991 Odd Future Wolfgang. Not to mention the blue and red cover kind of represent the shift in tone between the two halves of the album. Bastard features Tyler speaking to a character named Dr. TC, who acts as Tyler's therapist and guidance counselor. We later find out on Goblin, however, that he's a figment of Tyler's consciousness. Bastard contains Dr. TC hinting that Tyler's then upcoming debut album, Goblin, will be an additional session with him, stating that there will be 3 sessions. The album starts off with a cold open of Tyler yelling. From there, Dr. TC is introduced and the session begins. Through this therapy session, Tyler talks about his hatred for his father, relationships, and the most controversial topic that carried over to his major label debut, Goblin, rape. I can completely understand why this wouldn't be somebody's cup of tea. The song Bastard's eerie piano loop is actually known as what's called the devil's tritone. This is what Tyler means when he says, "This is what the devil plays when he goes to sleep." This track sets the tone for the hellish atmosphere of Bastard. Distorted, slow, eerie, and edgy, the content of this project wasn't meant to look pretty. Bastard received critical acclaim and was actually ranked at number 32 on Pitchfork's list of top 50 albums of 2010. While the single French was ranked at number 61 on Pitchfork Media's list of top 100 tracks of 2010. On December 25th, 2010, 1 year after the album's initial release, Bastard was re-released with Brendan Deshay's verse on Session being replaced with a verse from Mike G, due to dissension between Tyler and Deshay. The project is now made available on Odd Future's online music store, with Deshay's vocals returning to that same track. Tyler later announced intended plans on re-releasing Bastard in a remastered physical form through Odd Future Records. However, since this announcement, nothing has materialized. One interesting thing, however, was that years after the release of this mixtape, alongside Tyler's debut album Goblin, controversy sprung among members of the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom.
A special shout out to someone who I hold dear to my heart, who made it where I couldn't come to this country 5 years ago. I know she's at home pissed off. Thank you, Theresa May.
Who was Home Secretary at the time, imposing a ban on Tyler from entering the country for 3 to 5 years. The ban was met with uproar, which was revisited when May was elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Tyler and many of his fans believed the ban was racially motivated. Tyler stating he felt he was being treated like a terrorist, and that they did not like the fact that their children were idolizing a black man. There's also the point that other artists such as Eminem had similar to worse lyrics than what was considered dangerous on Tyler's project, such as Bastard and Goblin. The ban was lifted in May 2019. While I don't condone the lyrics, or maybe they don't bother me because I know it's Tyler just being an edgy teenager for attention, getting banned from an entire country from this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And not gonna lie, kind of impressive. If anything, Tyler getting banned helped him in the long run because it just made listening to him even edgier and, dare I say, cooler. He was the counterculture. I feel like it would take a lot to get banned in England, or at least it would take something costly. But Tyler wasn't even trying. I mean, this is actually fucking ridiculous, dude. All because this dude made some edgy bangers. Not to mention, it was strange that this happened years after the alleged dangerous lyrics, with this happening in around 2015 when Tyler had moved on to things like Wolf and Cherry Bomb. Edgy, but not nearly as bad as the content that was on Goblin and Bastard. I actually found a quote from an article from Tyler's manager Clancy. He says, "The types of lyrics he hasn't written since," Clancy added. Highlights from the letter include that his work encourages violence and intolerance of homosexuality, and fosters hatred with views that seek to provoke others to do terrorist acts. Does this man really look like a terrorist?
I'm here to tell you about the dangers of herpes. If you're out getting in the ass of just sucking dick, at least let some of us know. You know why? Because I don't want herpes. Neither do my cats. Bye-bye.
Really? I grew up on NWA, Eminem, and Rage Against the Machine, so it's hard for me to fully wrap my head around this thought process and its implications. Regardless, this happened years after the initial release of these projects. It would be interesting if this project was released today, especially with the current social climate that we're in. I feel like the concept of Bastard is rooted in themes of acceptance, moving on, and all of the dark thoughts and confusion in between. The unique production on tracks such as Parade, Blow, Pigs Fly, Seven, French, creating this dark and hellish yet dynamic world. Then there's tracks like
I'm in the fucking mall with my niggas eating ham. Yo.
This project started one of the most interesting 3-run albums to date. It feels timeless, yet it has this essence of the past to it that's been collecting dust for over a decade.
Cops say I'm supposed to be in jail, but they don't.
The album ends with the track Inglorious coming to the conclusion that Tyler is a good kid, just misguided. It ends his experience of looking into Tyler's psyche on an emotional high note.
I know I'm not the only bastard in America, so I'ma need some help. This next part, scream with me, niggas.
One of the last lyrics of the song saying, "I'm over it," displaying him accepting the fact that his father was never there for him. And like that, the project ends. Before this video ends, I would just like to announce that we finally have merch available now. Music merch. I've been working on this for a long time. Here's the front design, the music logo, and there are 2 different back designs. Here is the first one. Link in the description. And yeah, that's really all I have to say before this video ends. Your guys' contribution means a lot. Available out now. Link in the description. Thank you.
I'm Tyler, Mr. Green Hat, pro-abortion, anti-clean rap. Fuck your blog opinion and your feedback. My self-respect, I leave that in a lost and found where the black girls get they weave.
I think this project should be appreciated for what it is. It isn't meant to be clean, it isn't meant to be moral. It's fucked up to display the emotional impact of the absence of Tyler's father. The fucked up thoughts and attitudes that come from confusion and insecurity. Even today I come back to this project amazed at how a 17-year-old kid wrote this, produced in FL Studio, and self-released his pain to the world. Bastard is a work of art that is able to articulate the ugly into sounding gorgeous. This would eventually lead to Tyler's debut effort, which would help elevate him to completely new heights. But that's a story for another day.
Angel, how about we turn this into a fable of some sort? You already know you're dead. Ironic cause your lipstick's red. Of